The White Mage, the elementalist who draws upon the ether to brandish their foes and bolster their allies. With their elemental-based magic, they draw upon the power of the wind and the earth. Up until Shadowbringers, when you ripped that fantasy away from them. Yeah, thanks for that. Now we get a boring dot, and a single target nuke which is just as bland as our identity. Wait a second, what identity? We push our one-button rotation, just like all the other healers. We occasionally refresh our dot, just like all the other healers. Our gameplay is fundamentally identical, but we have the Lily system, which is now fixed. I mean, I don't get why it was ever a DPS loss to begin with, but it's all good, because us White Mages are now reformed. Sure, we may be a GCD healer in a game which actively demonizes GCD healing, but we are no longer rewarded for griefing our party. And get this, our main job mechanic, we're not punished for using it anymore. Thank you, Square Enix. It was a very odd design choice in the first place, but it only took you 2 years! I don't mean to come across as ungrateful. Square Enix may have bandaged some of the questionable design choices this job had. They may have even made it feel slightly less terrible. However, there is one thing they can truly never fix. Something so deeply rooted that no matter how hard they try to be rid of it, it will always continue to persist. White Mage players. Like the very dirt we walk on, the average White Mage player somehow tends to be even below that. I don't know what it is about this job, but whenever I see a White Mage, it's always a toss-up between someone who knows what they're doing and someone who, well, doesn't. Guess which one is more common? But what is it that specifically draws people to this job, of all things? Is it because White Mage is the only healer you can start off as, and you don't unlock Scholar until level 30? Wait, no, that makes way too much sense. Maybe they just lost their sense of taste. Oh wait, they're playing an anime game. Of course they have. Maybe they enjoy the simple and interactive gameplay of spamming one button. Or because it's straightforward and easy to grasp. No, that can't be right. All the healers are easy. Ah, yes! Maybe it's the fantasy of supporting your allies through the various use of healing magics. After all, us healers have a wide and diverse kit of healing spells, which I barely need to use unless I'm doing Savage? Okay? Well, there are far too many questions, and I really don't care about the answers. Well, whatever the reason as to why people play this job, you can divide its player base into two distinct groups. In the right corner, we have the based Medic 2 enjoyer. They don't give a rat's ass about playing optimally, and they will make it your problem. These bar-stammy players are usually cat girls, who will only wear a Shizui healing top because reasons, I guess. As you enter an instance with this player, they will enamor you with their distinct lack of gameplay. They will refuse to do any form of damage, because healers are only meant to use their healing spells. They will only use Assis as a form of healing. They will keep 100% uptime on Medica 2, because that is what heroes do. These players will only cast their healing spells and they'll still be bad at it, because no one reads tooltips. Lol. If you ever point out their lack of contribution, they will kindly respond with, "You don't pay my sub!" In the left corner, we have the jaded veteran healer. They are relics belonging to a bygone era of how healers were actually fun to play. They constantly reminisce of how good we used to have it before the Great Purge. White Mage had more than a crumb of depth. It was an enjoyable experience, so long as you pretended the lilies did not exist. It had its little quirks, which made it feel different and unique from its contemporaries. And Aerofree, my sweet prince, how I miss thee. If only the lowest common denominator were capable of improving, then maybe you'll still be around, old friend. What am I talking about? I didn't even play during Stormblood. But what I do know is that Stormblood White Mage was an absolute dumpster fire of job design. I don't know what kind of drugs the developers were on when they designed this mess, but I can guarantee you it wasn't legal. How do you manage to design a system so backwards that the best way for your player base to utilize it is to pretend it doesn't exist? I thought Afflatus Misery being a DPS loss was stupid, but apparently I haven't suffered enough. I know that the current version of White Mage is kind of lackluster. It only really appeals to casuals, and a lot of its flavour and identity have been stripped away. But the players actually want this type of design back? Because if they do, then I am honestly terrified.